Namaskar. Today we shall learn about doctrine of karma. This is very important, rather the most important doctrine of Jainism. The whole Jain philosophy centers around this particular doctrine. All philosophies believing in karma also believe in rebirth. So, that is a point to note, that if you believe in karma, then you should also believe in rebirth, or the other way around, if you believe in rebirth, then you must believe in the doctrine of karma, because both are interrelated. Doctrine of karma is the central theme of Jain philosophy. All philosophical principles in Jainism and the conduct and behavior of living beings is explained with the help of doctrine of karma. This is the law of causality for the soul, as there is a law of causality for material things. There is also a law of causality for the soul, and this is the law. The main premises are: number one, there are consequences to each action of the soul, because soul is doing some or the other action all the time, and all these actions have consequences on the soul. The consequences are expressed by the soul performing, they are experienced by the soul performing actions. So, the one who is performing these actions has to experience the consequences also, and no other soul can do it. And this tradition of cause and effect is beginningless, because we assume that the soul is eternal. It has been existing from beginningless time, and therefore this tradition of cause and effect is also beginningless. Soul binds karma for activities performed. As I said, that we are performing some or other kind of activity, and these are of three kinds: activity of body, activity of mind, and activity of speech. So, whatever activities we perform, soul binds karma. Karmas are information records. So, they keep the information of the activities which are being performed. There are two types of karma. Bhava karma are the impressions of actions in this soul. So, any action performed by the soul makes an impression inside the soul or in the soul itself. And these impressions defile the soul nature. These impressions guide the future actions of the soul. So, the impressions which are collected in the soul becomes a means of or they become the cause of future actions of the soul. Then there is a dravya karma. These records of actions are contained in the soul, number one, but they are also contained in a physical form, in the form of karma. And these karmas then are dravya karma or physical karma, and they consist of subtle matter that comprise the karma body. So, there is a karma body or karman body inside our gross body, and on that body the records, physical records of the actions of the soul are being maintained. Two types of karma maintain dynamic equilibrium, satisfying principle of parallelism. So, dravya karma and bhava karma, you have to remember these terms, we will use them very often. So, these two kinds of karma are in dynamic equilibrium, meaning thereby that if there is a change in one type, there is a corresponding change in the other type automatically. So that to maintain an equilibrium always. What do these karmas do? they hinder manifestation of the natural powers of the soul, Soul has natural powers, it has infinite knowledge, it has infinite perception, it has infinite spiritual energy and so on, and it is perfect bliss. All these powers of the soul are hindered or obscured by karma. Soul is in a state of illusion due to karma, and because of the karma, then the soul is not aware of its own nature, it is in a state of illusion. There is another subtle body called Tejas body or bioenergy body that vitalizes the gross body. The gross body, which is the visual body, and this visual body is vitalized with the help of another subtle body known as a Tejas body or energy body. Karma body and energy body accompany the soul migrating from one birth or one body to another on rebirth, maintaining continuity. So, when the soul migrates, let us say from this body which I am possessing now, after death, the soul will acquire another body. But these two bodies, Karman body and Tejas body, will accompany the soul from this body to the next body, so that there is a continuity in the existence of the soul. At the same time, all the records in the form of karma are being carried forward from one life to another, So, there is a continuity of existence of the soul, and at the same time, all information passes on from one life to another. Soul, karma body and bioenergy body extend the space of the gross material body. One may ask this question, where is the soul, or where is the karman body, where is the energy body? Well, they extend the space of this visible body, gross body which we see. Our existence has three tiers. Soul, subtle body comprising karman body and energy body, and gross material body. So, this is shown in the next figure. You see the figure here. On the left hand side, I have shown S. S is soul, and BK is bhav karma, which are impressions on the soul of the activities performed. So, this I have divided soul in two parts, the soul itself and the impression in the form of karma known as a bhava karma, and they are in the spiritual form. Then in the middle you see a subtle body consisting of two parts, dravya karma and T is tejas body, energy body. So, there are two separate bodies, and they are in the subtle form, which cannot be seen by any means. Cannot be seen by people like us. And on the right hand side, I have shown the gross body or the visible physical body, as we see. So, there are these three different units of our existence: soul with bhava karma, then subtle body in the form of dravya karma and energy body, and the gross body which is visible. And I have shown interaction between the karma body and the gross body, and the interactions are of two kinds, psychical interactions and biological interactions. We will talk about it little later. What are the effects of karma? So, the influx of karma into the soul is known as ashrav. It is a technical term, Ashrav means influx of karma. So, the karma means the subtle matter which is present in the cosmos, and that is being attracted by the soul due to its activities. So, because the soul is performing activities, these activities cause vibrations in the soul substance. At the same time, there are vibrations in the karman body also, which is in the subtle form. And when this karman body vibrates, it attracts similar matter which is present in the cosmos all around us in a subtle form. That matter in the form of Vargana is being attracted in the Karman body, and that binds with the Karman body. We will discuss that in detail. And so this kind of influx of karma into the soul then has five kinds of effects. Number one, perversity, mistaken belief that considers known truth as truth. So this is the effect of karma. The soul is illusioned, and it considers known truth as truth. For example, the soul may say, "Look, I am body," where it is not. So this is a misbelief because of karma. Non-abstinence, engaging in violent activities and activities for body comforts and enjoyment. Well-being of soul is overlooked. So all the time we are worried about our body and not about the soul, which is the main component of our existence. So the well-being of the soul is overlooked or ignored, and we are worried about the body. This is because of karma. Remissness, lack of spirituality, because you are worried about the body and not about the soul, so you lack spirituality. Patience, like anger, ego, deceit and greed. So these are four kinds of patience which have been described in Jainism, and these exist or these occur because of karma. And there are also quasi-patience, about we will talk just now, and they are also effects of karma. Then activities of body, mind and speech are also due to karma. We engaged in these activities because of karma. If the soul were without karma or free of karma, there wouldn't be any such activities of body, mind and speech, because there will be no body at all in that state. All these features are absent in pure soul free of karma. So a soul free of karma does not have body of any kind, and therefore these activities are not there. Bonding of karma. How does the karma bond? This is an important concept. As I told you, the activities cause vibrations in the soul and therefore the karma body, as I told you. And the vibrating karma body attracts subtle karma matter from cosmos that binds with the existing karma due to patience. Because we have patience, some or the other type of patience. The patience are, as I told you, anger, ego, deceit and greed. These kind of emotions are called patience. And so because of these patience, the karma varganas or karma matter which is being attracted, it's get bonded with the existing karman body. So patience is the binding force. If the patience is not present, the karma will come in, the karma matter will flow in, but it will not bind with the karma body. So it is the patience which acts as a binding force. Bonding karma has four defining features. Number one, numerical strength. What is the amount of subtle matter bonding at any time? It's less or more, it is the numerical. This is called numerical strength, But infinite number of karma varganas may bond with each soul pradesha depending on the strength of action. So in any case, infinite number of karma varganas are bonding with each space of the soul, which is known as a pradesh. So with each soul pradesh, infinite karma varganas bond at any time. And of course, this bonding will be more if your actions are strong, and it will be less if your actions are weak. The nature of karma. What type of karma is bonding? And there are 8 types of karma which are defined in Jainism. The first one is knowledge obscuring karma. So this karma obscures the infinite knowledge of the soul, So we are not able to experience the infinite knowledge, although soul possesses it. but we don't experience because there is a knowledge obscuring karma present. This karma obscures and limits the pure and perfect cognition or knowledge of the soul. So our knowledge is not perfect. We are not able to comprehend the totality of a substance, as we discussed in the other lecture. So our perception is always partial. We perceive only part of reality or part of truth. We know only part of truth. Perception obscuring karma, and this obscures our perception. How do we perceive things and events? This karma restricts the perception ability of the soul. Then there is a deluding karma. There are two types of deluding karma. Belief deluding, that hinders the perception of the truth. So we do not perceive the whole truth, or we sometimes perceive the untruth, which is not true. Even then we believe that it is true. The conduct deluding karma, it obscures or obstructs the equanimity of conduct. So our conduct is full of faults. Then vitality obstructing karma. This karma produces obstruction in the expression of vitality of the soul. The vitality of the soul is not fully expressed in the body. Feeling of producing karma. A pure soul enjoys infinite bliss, but this karma produces the feelings and experiences of pleasure and pain. So this pleasure and pain which we experience, and everybody does that, is because of karma. It's not the true nature of the soul. The true nature of the soul is to enjoy bliss, infinite bliss, and no feelings. So all the feelings are a result of the feeling producing karma. Then age determining karma. This karma determines the lifespan in a particular realm, whether in the animal form or human form or informal form or the heavenly mode of existence. Then form producing karma. This karma decides the form, the structure, the detailed features, outward appearance, etc. of the being, how the being will look like, how the body will look like, what will be the structure of the body and so on. All these things are decided by form producing karma. Then the last one is status determining karma. This karma refers to the quality of life, including inheritance quality. So it determines how's your quality, how's the quality of your actions. Is one factor is status determining karma. So there are 8 different kinds of karma which obstruct or obscure different nature or different attributes of the soul. And these karmas then can be divided into 2 groups. One known as a psychical karma, the first 4 types, the knowledge obstructing, perception obstructing, and the first 4 ones, that they determine psychical performance and inhibit full maintenance manifestation of the soul powers. So these are psychical karma and they are related with our psychical performance. And then there is the last 4 types are biological karma. These karmas determine biological features of the body, both the gross body and the subtle body also, but do not interfere with the psychical performance. So they have nothing to do with the psychical performance. They only are related to our biological existence, biological structure of the body and so on. Then the third feature of the karma is duration of bond. These karmas which are bond, remain with the soul for a certain period of time, and they do not give their fruits immediately. For example, if I am speaking now and if I am bonding karma and the karma will be bound only if I am also having patience, of 4 types. So, if the karma is bonding at the moment, this karma will not give its fruit immediately, it will give its fruits after certain duration of time, which can be very, very long period. It may not happen in this life, it may happen in this life, and so on. So, the duration is divided in 2 parts. One is the passive duration, another is active duration. So, the passive duration is one in which karma is not giving its fruits. It just remains bonded with the soul, but has no influence of the soul, And there is an active duration, When the karma is giving its fruits, the soul experiences the consequences of the karma. So, that period during which that happens is active duration. In the passive period, which is called as abhadha kal, the karma exercises no effect on the soul, as I told you. And in the active or the experience period, the karma arises and the soul experiences the due effect of karma, whatever effect was bound with that karma. And the fourth one is intensity of bond, the intensity of experience when karma becomes active, whether the intensity of experience is low or high, and so on. So, all these things are decided by karma. Then these 8 karmas have subtypes, they have number of divisions again, and this is important. We will go through these divisions quickly. For example, the knowledge of obscuring karma has 5 subtypes, that obscures 5 different kinds of knowledge. One is empirical knowledge of obscuring karma. So, that obscures the empirical knowledge, the perceptual cognition. And the second one is articulate knowledge of obscuring karma. It obscures the articulate knowledge. Clairvoyance of obscuring karma. It obscures the clairvoyance power of the soul. Mind reading of obscuring karma. So, it obscures our capacity of mind reading. Omniscience of obscuring karma, and that karma does not allow the omniscience to manifest. Perception of obscuring karma has 9 subtypes. Number 1 is ocular perception of obscuring. So, it obscures our vision. For example, I am having good vision, so it is not being obscured, but one suppose who is visually handicapped, then it is because of ocular perception of obscuring karma. The non-ocular perception of obscuring karma, this obscures the other 4 senses. We have 5 senses. The visual sense is obscured by the first one. The other 4 senses are obscured by this non-ocular perception of obscuring karma. Then clairvoyance of perception of obscuring karma. So, we do not have a clairvoyant perception. Omniscience of obscuring karma, so that we do not have omniscient or omniscience perception. And then there are 5 sleep related obscuring karma. These are the karmas which produces sleep condition, in our body. So, we go to sleep. If these karmas were not there, the soul will not sleep, Then there is a deluding karma. The right perception or belief deluding karma has 3 subtypes. Number 1, the wrong belief deluding karma. Upon fruition of this karma, the soul has belief in non-reality. So, for example, the soul may believe that look here, I am body, I am not soul. This is wrong belief deluding. This is because of this karma that there is such a kind of wrong belief. Then right wrong belief deluding karma. The belief may be right or wrong, or there may be indecision between these two states. So, upon fruition of this karma, the soul has mixed belief, Then clouded right belief deluding karma. Upon fruition of this karma, right belief quality is not destroyed, but the soul has unsteadiness of ideas, The soul then would believe that, look here, I am soul, but still not very firm, If this karma is there, there can be some kind of this way or that way. Then right conduct deluding karma, it has two subtypes, patience karma, So, this karma gives rise to patience, anger, ego, deceit, greed. These are the four passions, And each one of them can be in 4 grades. I have given here 4 grades. The anger can be in 4 grades, ego can be in 4 grades and so on. And these 4 grades are given here. Anantanam Bandhe, Apratyakyan Varna, Pratyakyan Varna, Samjvalan. I am afraid you have to remember these terms, there is no English equivalent, but the meaning is given here. Ananta Anandabandhi, patience are those which cause endless transmigration of the soul, They are very strong and the strength is, decreasing as you go down from to second to third and fourth and so on. And ultimately, there can be 4 into 4 kinds of patience and each in 4 grades. So, total 16 subtypes of patient karma. Quasi-patient karma. There are 9 subtypes of this quasi-patience. Laughter, including joking, sarcasm, ridicule, criticism, backbiting, satire, irony, humor and wit. They all come under the category of laughter. Then indulgence, like love and happiness. Dissatisfaction, like hate and unhappiness. Sorrow, fear, disgust, male disposition, female disposition and hermaphrodite disposition. The last 3 represents the sexual desire, and these are the 9 quasi-passions, The soul which is subjected to them is hindered in the practice of right conduct, So, if these quasi-passions are present, the soul will not have the equanimity of conduct or the right conduct. Then feeling producing karma is of 2 types, pleasure producing and pain producing, The pleasure which we experience is also due to karma and the pain also is due to karma, these 2 types. Then lifespan determining karma, that determines the lifespan in the 4 realms, animal, infernal life, human life or celestial life. And the 6th one is form producing karma, and this has the largest subtypes, 42 subtypes. This karma is responsible for producing the structure and the shape of the body, and all the features of the body are decided by this karma. And not only that, the bodies of all these species, because we can be born in any one of these species, So, this karma then will produce a appropriate type of body for the species in which we are born in. And so, it governs all possible variations in the bodies of a given species, all different features like outer appearance, deficiencies, voice, etc., autonomic and physiological functions, structural features of the body, and all these things are decided by this karma. Then there is a status determining karma. It has 2 subtypes, high status karma and low status karma. High status karma, its fruition leads to higher quality of life, your actions will be better. And the lower status karma leads to fruition to lower quality of life, lower actions, lower quality of actions rather. Vitality obstructing karma, that obstructs 5 types of your qualities. Your donation, donation, you are not able to donate. Gain obstructing, you do not have gains of any kind. Enjoyment obstructing, you are not able to enjoy. Re-enjoyment obstructing, you are not able to re-enjoy things. Willpower obstructing, it obstructs your willpower to do all these acts, good acts. Then there are karma could be of two types, One we call as a merit or other is a demerit. What is called as punya and pap in Jain philosophy terms. All psychical karmas destroy the basic nature of the soul and are demerit karma. So all psychical karmas, the four types and all the subtypes, they destroy the basic psychical nature of the soul. The biological karmas destroy no psychic property of the soul, either wholly or partially. Biological karmas only decide the body structure and body features, and they have nothing to do with the performance, psychical performance. So the biological karma are can be of both as merit and demerit. So if you have a merit karma, you will have a good body and good body features, and if you have a demerit karma, you have a inferior type of body and inferior type of features. Then we have concepts of states of karma. The karma could be, when they are existing, they could exist in 10 states, 10 types of states rather. One, bandh, bound state. This refers to karma in the bound state. Then augmentation, udvartana, means augmenting the duration and intensity of karmic matter. So this is possible. The karma which is bound with the soul and its duration and intensity could be changed. And this all happens due to the power of the soul, remember. Then attenuation, meaning reducing the duration and intensity of the karmic clusters. Satta, existence, This is the time for which the karma remains inactive in the bounded form with the soul. Then the rise. The state when karma starts giving fruits is called rise. And then premature rise, it is possible. The karmic material clusters which have not risen up are made to rise up prematurely. You can do that, the soul has the power to do that. Then what we call as a transformation, sankraman, which means mutual transfer of a homogeneous karmic cluster. Such transfer takes place in the nature, duration, intensity and quanta of the karmic mass. And this is possible, you can transform the karma from one type to another one subtype to another subtype in the same main type, For example, if you have a pleasure and pain of obscuring karma, it's possible that, you can convert the pain obscuring into pleasure obscuring and the pleasure obscuring into pain obscuring, that way. So the transformation can take place from one subtype to another subtype of the same kind of karma. One basic type of karma cannot be transferred into another basic type. There are 8 basic types. So out of these 8, one cannot be transferred into another main type of karma, but within the same karma, one subtype can be changed to another subtype. Mutual transfer is not possible among the 4 varieties of age determining karma. There are 4 realms of age, we said, the human life, animal life, infernal life and heavenly life. If you bond a karma of one particular type, that cannot be transformed. If you have bound a karma for infernal life, you will be born in the hell and you can't do anything with that. Soul has no power to change that. Then subsidence. Soul can suppress the deluding karma from rising and giving fruits. So deluding karma, gives rise to patience and quasi-patience, So those kinds of emotions can be subsided for the time being, If you are going to feel angry, you can subside that so you don't feel angry at all. But that might remain in your inside internal being in that form, but it's not being expressed externally. So suppression of deluding karma is possible. Nidhati, incapacitation, that is some kind of transformations can be possible, but others may not be. So making the karmic matter incapable of all processes except reduction or augmentation of duration and intensity. Except for this, the other states which we have talked of, those states cannot be brought over by transformation. And last is nikachin or non-transformation. The karmas cannot be transformed by any means. Soul has no power to transform these karmas, and soul will have to bear or experience the consequences of the karmas, and this is not in the power of the soul to overcome this kind of karma. Now we will quickly go through what are the reasons or the causes for binding of different forms of karma, different types of karma. When do you bind knowledge obscuring karma, for example? So the statement is made here: spite or hatred against knowledge, concealment of knowledge from others, declining or failing to impart knowledge due to envy or jealousy, causing obstruction or impediment to others in acquisition of knowledge, or disparaging true knowledge. These are all, if you are engaged in this kind of activity, you are inviting knowledge obscuring karma. That way, I have given reasons for all 8 types of karmas, how they are obscured. They are self-explanatory. I need not go through them. You can read through the slides. I now come to the important topic of karma, free will and destiny. Remember that, the soul is free will. Karma has effect. As we have seen, the karma shows their consequences in future. But in spite of that, karma has free will to act freely without the influence of karmic effect. The soul has that power, and it is because of this free will and power, that we are able to do so many things in our life. The soul has free will. There is no other commander or controlling power. That is number one, So this Jainism does not accept God or any controlling power who controls your soul. No, I am the controller of my soul. I command my soul. I have the free will. That is the concept, This is the doctrine of the soul as the maker and unmaker of itself, So you make your future, you unmake your future, You are the person who can do it. You are the responsible person and nobody else can do it. Lord Mahavira in his philosophy defines karma as a result of free will. I have a free will to act the way I like, but then you have to, you bond karma and you face the consequences of karma. So, although you are free, you have to face the consequences of the actions which you are doing, and therefore, you have to be careful what you do. Free will is the root cause of worldly events. Karma is only a secondary cause because it can be changed by the power of free will. So, you can change the karma with the power of the soul. This is what the whole emphasis of this topic here. No conflict with the doctrine of karma. Soul inertia bounds karma. So, the free will is not in conflict with the doctrine of karma. You have a free will, you act the way you like, but you could bond karma and face the consequences. The cause and effect relationship will hold good. Both free will and karma have roles in life, but both have limits. So, both are important in our life. Everything in life is not determined. There are so many factors operating in our life that there is no determination, and you can't determine your performance. And we will now talk of these operators which are acting or which are operating in our life. So, there are 5 operators of our destiny. Number 1, the nature of the soul. Every soul wants peace and happiness and strives for it. This is true for every soul, human beings, animals, or infernals, or heavenly beings, or even in the human beings, various kinds, or even a terrorist will ultimately launch for peace and happiness. He would like to have peace and happiness in his life. He may or may not realize now, but this is the reality. So, nature of the soul is that you want peace and happiness. Then circumstances are important operators in our life. The external environment, we have no control on the external environment. We have no control on, say for example, meeting and departing the beloved ones, loss and profit in business and occupation, social norms, natural calamities, government rules and policies, etc. They are framed and formed irrespective of our karma. So, these external, we have no control on these kinds of external environment, and they do affect our life. Time, many events are time dependent. Time is another independent operator in our life. For example, when we are born, we are a small child, and the body at that time is not able to do many things, as a small baby. And then as you grow, your activities also become different, and your thinkings become different, and your body strength becomes different, your abilities grow, and many things happens with time. So, time is an operator. Then karma, as we already know, the karma has a profound effect on our life, but the karma determines the internal environment. The environment within, like desires, thoughts, beliefs, ego, instincts, urges, drives, moods, emotions, feelings, etc. All these internal kind of environment is the result of karma, and that affects our performance. Soul has to face consequences and his actions sometime. You cannot escape that unless you are able to eradicate the karma, about which we will talk later on. Then free will or soul initiative. This is the main strength. We make choices. We are free to make choice, and the karma bondage can be minimized by careful choices. If you are not careful, you bind karma and face consequences. So, free will is there, but the free will must be exercised with care, remember. So, you can shape your future. How do you act is within your control. You have a right to act, and you have authority to act, and so you shape your future. what you will be in future, in this life or next, depends upon what you do now. So you shape your future. So I have quickly gone through the doctrine of karma, the most important doctrine of Jainism, and how this affects our life and how we can take care so that we have a happy life in future. Thank you.